Hey everybody, Ryan at Upscale Detail Co. And today we're going to be showing you how we regularly maintenance our vehicles with washes. All right, so first off, we've got our wheel cleaner. You're going to want to start with a really high quality wheel cleaner. We're going to be using P&S Brake Buster. This comes in all of our ceramic maintenance packages that we give to our ceramic coating clients, and this is for them to regularly wash their vehicle. So this is going to be my #1 recommendation for all of your wheel, tire, and wheel well needs. So we're going to start with Brake Buster. We've got a few different kind of tools here. So I've got brushes for my tires, I've got flogged brushes for my wheel wells, I've got microfiber interior, extreme interior wheel brushes, and then I've got just some detailing brushes for the face itself. You've got some hog's hair brushes, some nylon brushes. You're going to want to use different things on different wheels, things like that. So I'm going to show you how I would apply these different brushes to the wheel well, the tire, and the rim. Let's go. All right, now whether you've got a garden hose or you've got a pressure washer, I'm going to be using pressure washer connection today. This is how we're going to get started. So I like to work top to bottom with my wheel well area. Now if this is a small sedan or lowered vehicle, you don't necessarily have access to the wheel well, that's fine, but I'm going to be showing this demonstration for those of you that do have access to this wheel well, whether you be a Hummer, a truck, a large SUV, check this out. So we're going to get started by soaking everything down. And I really want to get in there. If you have any electrical connections around the engine bay that are sticking through, you really want to watch for those. Other than that, you want to make sure you're knocking a lot of that dust and dirt off the surface and really getting it moisturized and prepped so we can put some wheel cleaner on there. So that Brake Buster is also safe for these plastics underneath the wheel well itself. Going to do the same thing for this wheel and tire. And check that out. So we've actually got these wheels ceramic coated for this Hummer. We coated these wheels back when we coated the body on this one. So just check out the hydrophobic qualities of that. Yeah, the water runs right off and it cleans up really nicely too. So that's before we're using any kind of cleaner, and that's just falling right off. Check that out. So those are one of the huge benefits of having ceramic coated wheels. And let's move on. All right, so not everybody has one of these, but these flogged brushes that I've got here, I'm going to be using this for the interior of that wheel well, and I'm just going to get right in there. You can find these very easily accessible on a detailing website that's got detail supplies. If you want to go online somewhere, maybe Amazon's going to have some of those. If you're putting it on these plastics that are going to get worn down anyways, you're not going to have to worry too much about the materials they're made out of, because this plastic isn't super sensitive like something such as paint on rims or paint on the body of the vehicle itself. So that's something to take into consideration. You don't have to go and spend tons and tons of money on one that's really nice, especially if you're going to be sticking it in a dirty, muddy wheel well. As long as it's not something that's too abrasive that's really going to hurt. And you see what I did, as soon as I got done scrubbing, sprayed some more Brake Buster on there to kind of lift that up some more. And the one thing I really want to do is I want to keep all this from drying. So I'm going to add some more Brake Buster to that. Tell you what I'm going to do, even if it causes a little bit of glare, I'm also going to pop my glasses on really quick. Okay, now that we've done the wheel well, I'm going to take one of my tire brushes and get right on those tires. So it's all in the wrist. You really want to get your arm moving back and forth, but you want to make sure that you're not hitting that rim at all. You also want to make sure that you're getting close enough to that tire, to that rim on the tire, that you're getting these cracks and crevices. You're getting the tread on the face, on the sidewall. When you got big off-road tires like this, or tires with a lot of tread, you want to make sure that you're cleaning them up nice. All right. Now, once we've got that done, All we want to do is we want to take our pressure washer or hose and start hosing that down. I'm going to try to go around the rim, that way that brake buster can settle on there and continue to eat off that dirt. For those of you with garden hose, I'm going to give somewhat of a demonstration. I'm going to take the nozzle off my pressure washer. When you've got unpressurized water, you're actually creating less suds, less air gets in there, and you're going to be able to see easier where you're getting that cleaner off and where you're not. Sometimes those bubbles that are caused from that pressurized water can look like suds, and they're not. All right, now that we've got all that rinsed off, I'm gonna go straight in for my wheel. If you got a little extra brake buster, you like to clean those tires a little extra, you can lace that tire while you focus on that wheel. And then like I said, I'm gonna break down that rim into a few different options, a few different areas rather. So I've got one of my small little detailing brushes here. I'm gonna go straight in on these lug nuts. So I'm making sure I get around them. These are similar to tuner lugs, so they really sit in nice, but they've got a little bit of space in between that center cap and those lug nuts. Want to make sure I'm getting those faces while I've still got the small detail brush out. You move a little fast once you get comfortable with it. But as you notice, I'm just getting all the areas that are sticking straight out at me. If I see any areas that are really screaming at me, I can see the face of them. I'm gonna go ahead and get those. Same with this exterior rim of the rim itself. I'm gonna go ahead and get this. A lot of your 2-piece, 3-piece wheels are gonna have this, especially the aftermarket ones. They like to add these to the exterior. Same with this little divot behind that face, is I'm going to make sure I'm getting all of that out. Now to make sure that's not settling, drying, and just making any marks, I'm going to lace it with some more brake buster. I got 2 bottles here, so I'm just going to really quick. Then I'm going to take one of our preferred interior wheel brushes, and this is a medium Geon wheel brush. So this is going to go straight into that extreme interior of the wheel, and I'm going to go side to side on open spokes like this so I can get the cracks and crevices. So I'm going to start with the bottom spokes first. Go ahead and get all of those, and that brake buster's done most of the work for me. And I made it back to that spoke that I started with. I'm gonna move to the insides. So these spokes are kind of split into 2 open areas. Back to it. Now one more time, I'm gonna lace with a little bit more brake buster. And we're ready to rinse. Remember, I had some of that brake buster on the tire itself. Some of that dried up a little bit, but it's coming right off. Like I said, you want to avoid letting that dry. The good news is, if it's on something like a tire, it's not going to harm it, not going to cause dry rot, anything like that. Now that I've got that done, I'm spotting a couple of areas that are still a little dirty. And one thing with those rims is you see small areas like this on the underside that you don't necessarily catch. Those are going to stick out when you got a clean wheel. You got some dirty areas, make sure we go back and we touch those up. Just like that. Now she's done. She's ready to get sprayed down again. One thing to take into consideration is after you're done with these wheels, they may not be completely done. You may see some small areas around. I always like to go around on the end of the detail itself with a soft microfiber and touch up those wheels. All right, now that's going to be our process for the wheels. We're going to move on to the process of the paint after we get the next rim. Hey everybody, so now that we've got our wheels fully clean, we're going to start with our wash. Now with the wash itself, you want to rinse the vehicle first. I'm going to start with the side since we're out in the open that's not in the sunlight. So this is a side where we're not going to be risking that soap drying prematurely, anything like that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to rinse down this vehicle top to bottom. I'm going to show you what I mean by top to bottom. I'm not going to go top on the back and down, top on this door down, top on this door down. I'm going to go straight back and forth from the top to the bottom. And I'll demonstrate that now. So we're going to start back here. Just like that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it was about late July, early August that this H2 was coated by us. And check those hydrophobics out on this coating. You see that? And all these lines are from that water itself. This isn't dirt or dust that's coming off. As a matter of fact, when I sprayed it the first time, most of that dirt and dust did come off. Check that out. So I get this question from a lot of people. What is this down here? It's beading a little bit. It's not beading some places. Well, when I spray it, look at all the dirt that's still stuck on the surface of the coating. We got some here, there. It's just generally dirty. The bottom of the doors catch the most metallic contamination. They catch the most dirt, the most grime. And I expect areas like that at the bottom of the panels to get what we call clotted, or it's just generally dirty on the surface. Now what we want to do is we're going to be cleaning the coating itself. We're not necessarily going to be cleaning the paint. We're cleaning the vehicle's coating that's just got some general dirt on it. After we clean it and get that coating fully clean, we're going to be performing a reset wash for this one. So we're going to make sure the coating's doing its job, and it most certainly is. And then we're going to go back, we're going to give it a hydrophobicity booster. So we're going to give it a hydrophobic booster so it's going to bead and sheet a lot easier. And we're going to tend to places like this and make sure that we clean those extra good to get that coating clean and maintain it. All right, so now we've got our foam cannon attached to our pressure washer, and I'm going to start again top to bottom, and then I'll show you guys our wash method. Just like that. So what I'm doing here is I've coated the entire side of the vehicle with soap top to bottom. I went back over it again And you'll notice that I also got the rims to help lift any extra dirt that I missed. Now personally, we use a few different kinds of sponges. We use some Geon mitts, we use some Auto Fiber mitts, we use some Rag Company mitts. This is an Auto Fiber wash monster. You can pick one of these up on Amazon. Let me tell you, Auto Fiber and the Rag Company are those top two that we're gonna be using. They've just got those best blends of fibers and they're super soft. These are brand new. They haven't been on a wash yet. So we haven't used them on a vehicle yet, and we're gonna show you how this works. So I'm gonna start here at the top. I'm not gonna waste time. Come all the way over, and then come down a little bit, go all the way back. Exactly how I'm gonna wash the vehicle. Now, if you get to these mirrors and you want to, go ahead and box out those mirrors. Make sure you're getting those corners, cracks, crevices, getting really detail oriented with it. And now that I'm about this low, I'm gonna take my mitt, I'm gonna dunk it back in and rinse it off. I could also take a different mitt because I've got two in here and use that one. It is also optional to do kind of a pre-wash. So you can foam it up first, blast it with that pressure washer after you foam it up, knock some of the surface dirt off, and then go back and actually start to wash it with your mitt, your sponge, whatever have you. Okay. What we've got right there, come back, straight back over. So if you're noticing, I'm not making any scrubbing patterns. I'm not scrubbing on the paint. I'm moving straight back and forth on the panels, just like this. Straight back and forth. Check that out. So the reason I'm doing this is I'm going with the grain of the paint. I see a lot of people that they start to wear down their coatings or they start to wear down their paint because they're Mr. Miyagiing it. And that is the wrong thing to do. That is the only thing you don't want to do on a vehicle with its paint. You don't want to go in circular motions. The only time we'll normally go in circular motions is if we're coating a vehicle, then we're going to lightly buff that coating, in very strict context off as we work that coating in. So it's fully washed now. I've got all that paint washed on this side. And now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to rinse it off top to bottom. And again, this is specifically for you that have that garden hose, or even if you have a pressure washer and you just take that nozzle off, you're getting in there, you're not creating any extra pressure. You're just letting all that water come straight off. If you want to, you could take your thumb, kind of spray it out a little bit. But really, you're gonna see the most benefit not creating extra suds and just getting all that off if you go straight, no pressure. And again, check that coating out. And look at that coating. Look at those areas that were clotting at the bottom that are now just straight beading. A lot of the times, all it takes is a good wash with the proper techniques. And a lot of people think there's something wrong. They start scrubbing and they start doing something like that. Now I'm still seeing some clotting in this area. So when we do our reset, we put our reset chemicals on there. We're gonna be paying attention to that area. And then we're not gonna worry too much because we're gonna be topping the entire vehicle with a hydrophobic booster. And we can't forget those rims that we set it up. And now that I've got all that rinsed off, essentially I am actually gonna go back with my sprayer nozzle, which I'm gonna step out of frame and grab, come back and rinse this all down. Now, if you're on the roof, you're gonna wanna go straight back and forth. If you're on the hood, you wanna go straight back and forth, but you can apply this method all the way around. The only areas you're gonna be necessarily moving side to side are gonna be the back hatch, where sometimes they're gonna paint that side to side. You wanna go with the grain of the paint, kind of wrapping it around like a snake, coiling it. Same with the front bumper. Other than that, this is all you need. These are the techniques that you're gonna use to properly wash that vehicle, to nurture it, to maintain it, and to care for it. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever following this, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.